Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Southern California Edison's pre-event show for its 21st annual Black History Month celebration. How are you all doing this morning? I am Kia Kelly, marketing and TikTok strategist, where I teach businesses how to market their businesses online and use TikTok marketing to do so. Thank you, Southern California Edison, for having me as your pre-event host. We hope you've had a great Black History Month so far and are ready to continue the celebration. Did you enjoy the wonderful performance by Ashley Keiko as much as I did? Miss Keiko is an up-and-coming saxophonist, composer, singer, songwriter, and entrepreneur who has studied classical piano, alto saxophone, and has taught music for many years. She has performed at venues such as the Apollo Theater in New York City, Wollongong University in Australia, Minton's Playhouse in Harlem, and live at the Gantries, just to name a few. Ashley received her Master's in Music and Music Education at Teachers College at Columbia University. She also studied abroad at the Arts College at Xiamen University, Fujian Province, China, where she practiced music and reflected on the ways in which culture, language, and the arts intersect in a transcultural world. In addition to being a performer, music educator, and music advocate, Ashley expanded her music academy, Keiko Studios, in January 2018, which caters to adults and children who aim to explore the importance of music and music expression. Thank you, Ashley, for warming us up this morning with your beautiful music. Now we've got a great pre-event show planned just for you, so let's get started. As you've seen in the communications about this event, the theme this year is impacting the community for a positive change. I like this theme because it's something we all can do as individuals or collaboratively, whether it be big or small, in so many ways. Just think of music, for instance, and how it impacts all kinds of communities, cultures, countries, and languages. Music brings people together, and that is a positive impact. Now I'd like to introduce you to our next guests, Randy Kahn and David Ford. Randy is an art collector of fine art for over 45 years. He began his career in the art industry as a collector, which led to art showcases and the selling and dealing of modern and contemporary art. For the past 25 years, tribal art, primarily African, has been his sole interest, and he has been researching, studying, investing, and sharing these astonishing artworks. During this time, over 1,000 pieces have passed through his hands. We also have David Ford, who is a government relations manager at Southern California Edison, who is with Randy to talk all about his collection. Now let's check them out.
Randy, I just want to thank you for taking time today to let us visit your home and look at this magnificent art collection from Africa. As I got to know you and found out that you collect art, this changed my life. It really has, because it allowed me to see the history of where I come from and the creativity that you have collected over the years. And we're pleased to allow this to be seen during the Southern California Edison Black History Month event.
My pleasure.
So tell me what really got you involved in collecting art like this?
Right. Well, I was a modern art dealer for probably 25 years before I discovered my first African art piece, which blew me away because of the power and the beauty and the aura of it, it was just, I mean, I was mesmerized. And that piece, I remember, was a Kafwebi mask. It was mesmerizing. So shortly after that, I kind of made the correlation between modern art and how the so-called primitive art had really created all the modern masters of modern art that we revere today. Picasso, you know, all of them, Modigliani, on and on, Klee, everyone that we consider a master of modern art was influenced by this material. So I began to study it, I began to collect it, and it became a lifelong passion.
So a lot of your collection is from tribal ceremonials like the
Correct.
Mass.
Right.
Well, can you share some of the countries in Africa, the Congo?
Sure. Sure. So what was originally the Belgian Congo, obviously owned by the Belgians, their monarchy, became, I think in the 50s or early 60s, they got their independence. I think it was in the early 60s, and is now DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo. A lot of these pieces come from the Congo. Then there's West Africa, and then there's Mali, and then Ivory Coast is a particular passion of mine because their art, and a lot of this stuff, Africa's a big place. So the material looks very different. And once you understand this stuff a little bit, you can look at a piece and you know where it came from.
Do you run across many African American art dealers collecting this primitive type of art? Is there an opportunity for more, or would you like to see more African American art dealers doing what you're doing?
I'd like to see more African American collectors and more African Americans appreciating how incredible this material is. This stuff is extremely sophisticated. These cultures, they're so-called primitive, have very advanced theories and perspectives on time, relationships, God, the spirits, just like the American Indians. To assume that, well, these people were in the bush, or they were this, or they that, or they lived like this, is a fallacy, I think, to a lot of collectors or potential collectors. The so-called primitives are much more advanced in many, many ways than so-called modern man. Okay, their connection to the earth, their connection to life, the afterlife, all their concepts, many of them are extremely advanced. And it's in their art, because the vast majority of these so-called artifacts were not created as art. They have a ceremonial purpose. We need more collectors to preserve the art, because we're not taking this with us, okay? I mean, we'll be gone, the art will still be here. Who's going to take care of it? Or is it going to end up in some basement somewhere? You know? So it's better that people live with it, enjoy it, show it to their kids, leave it to their grandkids, whatever. And that, that's part of the goal. And I think that's your goal. Anyway, it's funny because you asked me one day, you had seen some tribal art in New York or whatever it was, some newer stuff, and we said, do you know anything about this? And you showed me some, some new pieces, and I said, yeah, I know a little bit about it. Oh, really? So I think it was a little bit of a shock.
You never know, you're playing
That's
racquetball with somebody, and then the next thing you find that they're collecting or have an affinity towards something that is so meaningful and emotional to me as an African American. Thank you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yes.
All right. I'm still not going to let you win on the court.
Thank you, Randy, for sharing your collection with us today. You have some amazing art pieces with so much detail. I did not know that these art pieces existed before today. So thank you for enlightening us with some artistic, primitive American history. Our next guest is Cherie Beasley, chef and director of Kitchen Food Ventures. Beasley's passion for cooking began when she was just a child. She grew up in a home where she was awakened in the mornings to the aroma of homemade butter pound cakes and tea cakes that her mother used to bake. Her business had continued success after graduating culinary school in 2005 and expanded to what is now Kitchen Food Ventures, or KFV. Currently, KFV provides business development and training services for those that desire to start their own food-related business, and assisted over 235 food entrepreneurs in preparation for their business plans. With her is her assistant, Alasia Sisson. Chef Cherie, show us what you've got cooking.
Good morning, Kenyon. Thank you so much for such a warm and ingratiating introduction. My name is Cherie Beasley, and I'm the Director of Kitchen Food Ventures. And we're a community-based nonprofit organization in Long Beach. And we provide a lot of services. During the holidays, we have a food program where we actually come out to this facility that I'm so ingratiated and thankful for. And we bake hundreds of pies that we actually give away to low-income identified families in the Long Beach area. So thank you, Edison, once again. I'm privileged to be here today to be featured in the Black History Expose that's happening. And I'm very thankful for the invitation. Thank you so much. And so for our menu today, I am preparing something that is both Black history and also Mardi Gras, which is also in February. And it's a crab shrimp bis soup. And as you can imagine, it's got shrimp, it's got crab, it has corn. And right now we're sauteing the vegetables, which are the celery, the garlic, the onion, and the red bell pepper. As this condenses and gets cooked a little bit more, I'm going to add some flour to make a bit of a roux. Just a very, very light, kind of a blonde roux. It won't be real dark like we do for gumbo, but just a light roux. And then to that, we're going to add some cream cheese so we can thicken it up a little bit. We're going to add some of the chicken stock, and we'll keep going until we get it exactly the way we want it. With our bis, we're going to have some cornbread muffins that are actually broccoli, red bell, and they have red bell pepper and onion in them as well. So to round it out, we'll have a dessert, which are some chocolate cake pops that are bite-sized, like an inch in diameter. And that's going to be the menu for the Black History for today. Thank you so much. And as we continue, I'll be happy to let you all know what I'm doing here. Okay, so I've just added a little flour because, as I said earlier, we're going to make a small roux. Just a small little blonde kind of roux to kind of thicken it up a little bit. So while we are kind of just stirring all of our roux ingredients, we've added the cream cheese. Now we're going to add the heavy cream, and of course the last thing we'll add will be the shrimp and the crab. But let me just say this, there could not be a better facility than to come here, because to me it would not be a job. It would be coming just to have fun and cook at the same time, something I enjoy doing. So I'm most appreciative to have been invited to be a part of your Black History Week. I'm very humbled by it, and I thank you so much. Another added plus of being a partner with Edison is you get invited to all their wonderful events. And two that I was able to attend last year was the Altasham, and they were demonstrating their combi oven, and then Rationale, who we just love because their stuff is just their ovens are just phenomenal. They do everything. They even clean themselves, if you can believe that. When you're done, you put this little tablet in, you turn a button on, the water, it's amazing. It's just, I've never seen anything like that technology before in my life. And I love coming out here to work with all of their equipment. I really do. Today we use the induction cooktop that I used to saute the vegetables for the soup. And that was the celery, the garlic, the onion, and the bell pepper. And I mean, this is some amazing equipment out here, because I mean, you put it like on 15 and it's hot. I mean, it just boom. So, it goes quicker. It increases your production time because you can cook your food quicker. And over here we have the other induction oven where we actually have our roux going. We added our roux to some chicken stock, and we're also going to add some heavy cream to go in here as well, and some half and half. To that, we will finally get to add our shrimp and our crab. And we will be done. Okay, so I'm going to pour the whole 16 ounces of this heavy cream in here. And we're going to let this kind of simmer in here. I can look at this and tell that it needs a little bit more seasoning. You say, well, how do I know that? Because as the milk, which acts as a binder, anytime you are sauteing in foods, it gets darker. So I'm going to add a little onion powder, and I'm going to add a little bit more garlic powder. And I'm going to add a little bit more obey. Now I'm pouring the shrimp and the crab into the shrimp into the pot. And we're going to stir that. It's raw shrimp that I washed and deveined. And the crab is pasteurized crab. Comes in a can. And I made sure I tried to get as many of the claw pieces out, so when you guys are eating the soup, if you taste a little cartilage piece, that just means that's one that I didn't see to get out. So we're just going to stir it here now. Okay, now I'm going to have my assistant here to test this out to see what I missed out on, because I know I missed out on something. So she's going to be my tester.
That's really good.
Okay.
Could add a little bit more pepper, maybe.
A little bit more pepper.
Really good, yeah.
Okay, so but the seafood flavor is there.
Amazing.
Oh, okay. Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, and in the final stretch of our crab bisque soup, I'm just going to turn this down to like maybe a 2 to 4, and just kind of let it simmer a little bit. And that is our soup. That's our crab bisque soup. So now we're on our last ingredient for our luncheon today, and that is some cornbread muffins to go with our soup. I have kind of embellished this recipe over the years. I've added broccoli and I've added the red bell pepper. And then it'll go over here in this wonderful Rational oven that I absolutely love and adore. And for cooking. And then we'll be ready to chow down. All right, we are now done, and I'm plating up so we can all enjoy. This is the final product. We added some Parmesan at the very end. I like it because it holds its flavor. And we're now going to add a muffin to go with it. And I'm going to put that here on the side. It has been an absolute pleasure for Kitchen Food Ventures to be invited to be a part of the Black History program. It has been wonderful. We look forward to our continued partnership. As you see, it's so much fun. We get to be a part of so many wonderful activities. Edison is one of the companies that maintains its edge of technology, and it's here at the Food Technology Center. So again, we say thank you, a happy Black History Month to all of you, and we look forward to hopefully seeing you again. Bye now.
Thank you, Chef Cherie, for your rendition of shrimp and crab biscuit. If you ever need someone to sample your cooking, give me a call. I can't tell you how it tasted, but it sure looked creamy and delicious, right? With all the cold weather we've been having lately, bisque is the perfect dish to get you all warmed up. Oh, and those broccoli, cheese, and red pepper cornbread? Get out of town with those. Why wasn't I invited to lunch? This morning's pre-event show has been so fun. After seeing the historical art by Randy, I feel the need to visit a museum and learn more about African art. If you know of any great museums that showcase Black art, please tell us about them in the chat. Recommendations are so helpful because each person gives a different perspective. And after watching Chef Cherie Beasley make her shrimp and crab bisque, cornbread and mini chocolate cakes, now I'm hungry. Are we ready to start the main event? Show me you're ready by typing in the chat. Yeah, I know it's hard to focus when you're hungry, but we'll get through this together. We had a great pre-event show, and now it's time to start the main event. And welcome to Southern California Edison's 2023 Virtual Black History Month celebration. And once again, I am Kia Kelly, CEO at If You Brand It, where I teach business owners how to use the TikTok platform to generate leads and make money in their businesses. Because I understand that people are trying to figure out how to make more money, and you make more money by marketing your products and services. The theme this year is impacting the community for a positive change. How can we, as business owners, individuals, parents, and all the other titles we hold, impact our communities in a positive way? Some may think it has to be some grand gesture, like millions of likes on our social media platforms, or shown on television, or it takes millions of dollars to have an impact. But no, even the little things that go unseen are impactful to others. Just think about a mentor or a teacher that impacted you in some way, or the small gesture or the random act of kindness that impacted your day in some way. It may be small to others, but had a major impact in some way. The word impact is defined as the action of one object coming forcibly into contact with one another or having a strong effect on someone or something. I know each of us had an example of such impact. I think about a teacher named Miss Wilson. When I was back in middle school, my English teacher told me that I wasn't reading well, and so he put me in what we call the special class. And I didn't really like the special class. I felt like that people would make fun of me because I didn't realize that I was a slow reader. I thought that it made me like I was dumb or something. But she had such an impact on my life because as a result of being in her class, I actually got the attention that I needed as a student, and I became like an accelerated reader. I read books over and over and over again. And so when I wrote my first book, I wanted to try to find her to give her a copy to tell her who I had become. But when I think about it today, she's probably the number one person that had the most impact because she spent so much time with me. And that's why we can't take for granted how we treat others, because we never know the type of impact it can have on someone's life. So be sure that your impact is positive and with love. And with that, I would like to thank you for sharing part of your day with me to celebrate SCE's Black History Month. If you want to know how to reach me, check out the event website at www.sceheritageevents.com, which has all my information. Now for the main event, I want to introduce you to your MC, Brittany Jacob, reporter and anchor for the Disney-owned local station in Fresno, California, ABC 30 Action News, and KFSN TV Fresno. She covers top national news stories right here in California regarding COVID-19, major crime and violence, equity and education, historic fires, and much more. Before joining the ABC 30 Action News team in September 2020, she was the evening anchor, bureau chief, and reporter for CBS in the Missouri market. Before joining the ABC 30 Action News team in September 2020, she was the evening weekend anchor, bureau chief, and reporter for CBS in a Missouri market. While there, Brittany covered a variety of stories, including high-profile murder court cases, gubernatorial elections, the infamous Illinois state budget stalemate, and the Cairo housing crisis, and more. Brittany was a 2020 finalist for Best Reporting at the Illinois Broadcasters Association Silver Dome Awards. She is a proud graduate of Howard University in Washington, D.C., and is also a member at the National Association of Black Journalists, NABJ, and the San Joaquin Valley Alumni Chapter, SJVA, of Delta Sigma Theta Incorporated. Please join me in welcoming Brittany Jacob.
Thank you, Kenya, for the introduction. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Southern California Edison's 21st annual Black History Month celebration. Thank you, Edison, for letting me be your MC this year for this event, and I'm looking forward to celebrating the contributions and successes of our African American community organizations and businesses. As Kenya mentioned, the theme this year is impacting the community for a positive change. Just think of the definition Kenya provided: having a strong effect on someone or something. It does not say grand or expensive, but strong. That's the key word. For example, even for me here in Fresno, with my local organization of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, we are empowering and enriching young African American males and females through STEM, college readiness, and even physical and mental health. Thankfully, my work allows me to make an impact every day by sharing what's happening in our local communities and around the world. Although the news may not always be positive, when there is disaster or tragedy, many of the community come together to provide support. They give money or in-kind donations, they create nonprofit organizations, they form new advocacy groups, and so on. These are positive impacts in our community, and that's what brings us together. Now, first and foremost, some important safety messages that could impact your life and your business. At Edison, the safety of its customers and community is always of the utmost importance. And today's safety message is to remind its customers to not be deceived by utility employee imposters and phone scams. Unfortunately, there has been a rise in customers receiving calls from people posing as an Edison employee from the disconnection department and are demanding immediate payment or their power will be shut off. Many of the customers being impacted are business customers, and the calls are usually during their busiest time of the day, causing a panic. Fearing the power will be turned off, the business customer complies and sends the money as requested, which is usually via prepaid card, Zelle, Cash App, or some other immediate direct method of payment. SCE wants to let you know that they will never demand payment via prepaid cards. They do not have a disconnection department, and they will never demand immediate payment with the threat of disconnection. If you receive this type of call, please hang up and let Edison know immediately by going to www.sce.com/scamalert so they can do their due diligence to prevent it from happening to others. Please share this message with your network so they can also be made aware of these scams. To kick off today's program, I want to introduce you to Bridget Bentley. She will perform Lift Every Voice and Sing, the Black National Anthem.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicings rise high as the glistening sky. Let it resound high as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the presence has brought us, facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Thank you, Bridget, for that amazing performance. That could be such a difficult song to sing with all the highs and the lows, but it's such a beautiful historical song. Did you know that it was first written as a poem by the first NAACP leader, James Weldon Johnson, in 1899, then changed to a hymn in 1900 by his brother, John Johnson? For those of you that don't know, the song is a history lesson. It's a rallying cry, a pledge of unity, and as people gather to fight for equality and justice, it's an ever-present refrain. This year marks 124 years since it was written, so isn't that just incredible? Now for social media reminders, hopefully you've had a chance to participate in the social media postings prior to this event. The hashtags today are hashtag SCE BHM 2023 and hashtag Black History Month. Be sure to use them when posting and send your photos of how you're celebrating with us today. Now, did you get all dressed up in your nice cultural attire or your garb for today's celebration? Post your pictures so we can check it out. Also, like the SCE on Facebook and follow SCE on LinkedIn, Twitter, and of course, Instagram as well. Each year, Edison gives outdoor prizes for the viewers, but this year there are a total of 40 door prizes, which means more opportunities to win. From now until 11 a.m., if you would like to be in the drawing for one of the 40 door prizes, type the word prize in the comments. The 40 lucky winners have a choice of getting a copy of the Keynote speaker's book entitled Unbiased, Addressing Unconscious Bias at Work by Stacey A. Gordon, or the book The Art of Speaking into Existence by Glenn Bowie. If you are one of the lucky winners, be sure to email your name and address by March 3rd to SCE Business Customer Events at SCE.com. That's SCE Business Customer Events at SCE.com. Winners will be announced at the end of the program. All right, our first speaker for the main event is the new mayor of the city of Long Beach, Rex Richardson. Mayor Richardson became the youngest person in history elected to the City of Long Beach City Council back in 2014. In 2016, he was elected to a 2-year term as vice mayor, also the youngest in city history. He was then re-elected to the Long Beach City Council in 2018 and re-elected as vice mayor in 2020. In November of 2022, Mayor Richardson broke barriers once again as both the first Black person and the first resident of North Long Beach in history elected to serve as mayor. Mayor Richardson's history in Long Beach is grounded in empowering communities to have a seat at the table and believe that everyone, no matter their circumstance, deserves the opportunity to thrive. He works to change the culture of City Hall to be a smarter, more inclusive, and more responsive to the needs of its neighbors, businesses, and families, while ensuring an equitable future for all. Let's welcome Mayor Rex Richardson.
Thank you, Brittany, for the introduction, and good morning, everyone. I'm Long Beach Mayor Rex Richardson, and it's my honor to welcome you to Southern California Edison's 21st Annual Black History Month celebration. Here in Long Beach, we're proud to continue blazing a trail by making history and electing our city's first Black mayor in more than 125 years. Across our region, people are continuing to step up and make a difference and blaze the trail, like Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, the first African-American woman to ever serve in the role. Thank you, Southern California Edison, for inviting me to take part in today's festivities. Let's continue making history. Together, we can power the future of our communities and make everyone in our region and make our region a place where everyone thrives. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Richardson, for all of the work you've done and continue to do in the community. When it comes to community impact, there are some people who stand out just because of their work, not just for the few, but for the generations afterwards. One of those people who had this type of impact was the former California Assemblyman Gwen Moore. Gwen Moore was the architect behind General Order 156, and she believed that all people should have access to the same business resources, and she epitomized diversity, equity, and inclusion. She used tax laws to sponsor progressive legislation aimed at eliminating racial, gender, and other forms of bigotry. Before she retired from public office, Moore had more than 400 laws to her name that focused on providing justice and equal footing to women and racial minorities. Even after retirement, Moore founded GEM Communications Group, a public relations firm focused on legislative strategy and community outreach. She passed on August 19, 2020. In her honor, Edison changed the former Diverse Business Enterprise Award to the Gwen Moore Diversity Award. This award is given to an individual or company which exemplifies a strong partnership and value with Edison and is a positive representation of its core business strategy of working with diverse suppliers such as women, minority service, disabled veteran-owned businesses, and LGBTQ business enterprises. Southern California Edison is committed to supporting small and diverse firms, helping them gain access to contract opportunities in traditional and new sourcing areas. Their engagement with these suppliers has allowed them to safely deliver reliable, affordable, and clean energy to our customers. One of the ways SCE further supports diverse businesses is through their EDGE program, which provides resources, education, and mentorship to help support these businesses and gives them a greater chance of long-term success. Today, SCE is recognizing a diverse supplier in the diverse community of the Central California region, Imperial Electric Services Incorporated. Imperial Electric Service is an electrical contracting firm that provides contractor services throughout the state of California for both residential and commercial business customers. Let's hear more about the Imperial Electric Service.
My name is Wendell Pascasio, and I'm the owner of Imperial Electric Service. Imperial Electric Service is an electrical contracting firm, a design-build electrical contracting firm specialized in EV infrastructure, battery storage, and solar. The partnership between Imperial Electric Service and SCE looks very bright to us because of our dedication to electric vehicle charging infrastructure. Aligns with the same with Southern California's goal for electric vehicle infrastructure within the next years to come. So we do believe that it'll be a long-term partnership to installing fleets throughout the Southern California Edison territory. Yeah, so the foundation of Imperial Electric really started with giving back, right? Our goal was to really give opportunities, second chance, right? Give opportunities to those that society or, didn't give chances to, primarily in the diverse community. There's a lot of folks within like the West Fresno area that didn't understand that there is another opportunity besides college, right? That there's a trade that they can get into and actually be successful. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough leaders in the construction industry that they were able to look into within California, mainly in the East Coast, but within California, there wasn't a lot of Imperials to say, right? Black-owned or diverse organizations that's been successful. And for us, that has always been our goal. So we do a lot of outreach within the diverse community to put shows on together. We have one that's called Youth Skill Day, and we do a bunch of different activities where they can learn how to do a solar install, electric vehicle installation, and construction management and different stuff like that, so they can understand and get involved and see a pathway, right? So that's one of the things that we do that we're very proud of. We have a lot of young adults coming up, and we believe they need to start there, right? If we start there, we can make this change for, changing our community and having this huge impact, right? And we believe starting there, whether throughout the different spaces within the organization, that they can be very impactful and create generational wealth. I definitely want to say that the Southern California Edison procurement team, with Dennis and William and the team, they've been really great. I want to say that they very much helped us and done everything for us as small, diverse business to get plugged into Southern California Edison. The procurement team has just been awesome. They've helped us with every resources that we needed and any kind of connections that we needed. If we had questions, the team would help us out. There was no hesitation about it. And I just feel like if there was a lot more procurement organization like Southern California Edison, it would be great for small business and diverse business like ourselves. It's harder to get work as a specialty subcontractor with the bigger general contractors, right? And they've made different ways for that to be possible for small specialty contractors like ourselves to contract with Southern California Edison and do work.
Congratulations, Imperial Electric Service. I live and work in the Fresno area, so it's nice to see a local business being honored for this award. I recognize some of your projects from those images, so I have seen your work firsthand. It's glad to see that you have grown into such a successful business that's thriving in the community. Our next speaker is Southern California Edison's Senior Vice President of Customer Service, Lisa Cagnalotti. Cagnalotti is responsible for overseeing the company's customer products and services, business and residential customer account management, customer billing and credit, contact center operations, and competitive telecommunications business. Prior to returning to SCE from retirement, she has been an executive in residence at Arizona State University's W.P. Carey School of Business. She is a board member of the Valley of the Sun United Way and a member of the African American Women's Giving and Empowerment Circle in Phoenix. She also serves as president of the Desert Pearls Foundation, Alpha Alpha Iota Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, and is a long-standing member of the Dean's Corporate Advisory Board at the UCLA Samueli School of Engineering. Cagnalotti earned a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering from the University of California, Los Angeles, and a master's degree in business administration from Pepperdine. Please join me in welcoming Lisa Cagnalotti.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Brittany, and welcome to all of you to our 21st annual Black History Month celebration. I'm feeling a little bit emotional and nostalgic today because I have been involved with the Black History Month celebration since 2008, and this could be my last celebration. I was here for a number of years, and many of you know that I retired for a few years and then came back. I participated last year, and now this year is my final year, my true final year, and I'm excited to be here with you. And I want to thank you all for being here with us. I know many of you have been to all of these events, or as many or more than I have. So it would be interesting to see if you would put in the comments how many years you've participated in Southern California Edison's Black History Month celebration. So I'm here at the Energy Education Center in Irwindale, and I'm in the Smart Home Experience, and it's just a lot of fun here because there's so many technologies that we are demonstrating that help bring to life what we're trying to do to encourage customers to take advantage of electrification opportunities. Everything from the induction cooktops, which are super cool, and I hope to have something like that in my kitchen someday, to the electric vehicles and the electric appliances and electric heat pumps that we are going to be doing more and more demonstration, and hopefully customers will adopt more heat pumps as we go along in our programs. And so what I'm going to do today is walk you around and show you some different technologies and talk about what Edison is doing to help enable the clean energy pathway in California. Electric transportation is a very important component of our clean energy pathway. What you see here is a display that shows everything you need to know about our Charge Ready transport program. And electric buses are a really important component of this. In fact, during the upcoming 2028 Olympics, we are hoping that all of the transportation that is done during those Olympics, moving the athletes around and the spectators, is all going to be done with electric transportation. Another very important component of the clean energy pathway is renewable energy. And Edison is very proud to be part of encouraging our customers and providing incentives for our customers to take advantage of renewable energy technologies. We hope that in the future, many more customers, especially in disadvantaged communities, will be able to take advantage of these technologies. And finally, and maybe even the most exciting part of the clean energy pathway, is electric vehicles. And Southern California Edison has long been involved in helping to create an infrastructure of charging stations so that customers no longer have to worry about range anxiety. So hopefully, I'd love to see the comments in the chat here of how many of you have electric vehicles and what your favorite one is. And so that would be really fun to see how many people are already adopting electric vehicle technology. But also important to Southern California Edison, and maybe even the most important part, is we want to make sure that no customer gets left behind. So we want to make sure that there are charging stations placed in disadvantaged communities, and we want to make sure that low-income customers can afford electric vehicles. So Southern California Edison has programs, rebate programs, to help our low-income customers adopt electric vehicles. Thank you so much for going on this tour with me of our Energy Education Center. But none of the work that Southern California Edison does could we do alone. Our community partnerships are very important to us, and today's Clean Energy Champion honoree is an organization called Millionaire Mind Kids in Victorville that provides STEM education and meals to disadvantaged children in their area. Let's hear more from their CEO and president.
Hello, my name is Dolores Williams, President and CEO of Millionaire Mind Kids. Millionaire Mind Kids is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and what we do is we provide educational resources, enrichment programs, after-school programs to under-resourced students here in Victor Valley, High Desert, across all cities. We specifically are unapologetically target African American students and parents and Latinos because they're the most under-resourced in our areas. Originally, when we moved into this building in 2021, our first electric bill was about $4,000 a month. Eventually, with some energy conservation, it went down to about $1,800. Wow, our latest clean energy project was the Wilden project. The Wilden Energy Conservation Company came in, and they changed out all of our old technology of fluorescent light bulbs into the new LEDs, the 5K Kelvins, and brightened up our whole facility while reducing our energy cost. And thanks to Southern California Edison, because Southern California Edison recommended the Wilden project for us. A part of Millionaire Mind Kids helps the communities to reimagine the communities that will improve the qualities of their lives. For example, we help to provide parent tools through our parent university. We help to reimagine policies and legislation in the criminal justice system. That's our civic engagement program. What I would like to share is, first of all, I'd like to shout out to Edison. Thank you for supporting us since 2008. Edison has supported our STEM education programs. This grant has given us the opportunity to expose students, especially African American students specifically, across this community to career pathways and college majors that they really don't know exist. So shout out to Edison. Thank you for your support. Thanks for recommending this wonderful energy conservation program. Now all the money that we were paying out in utilities, we can recycle that back into our program and increase our impact in the community. So we really, really appreciate the support that we have gotten over the years from Edison.
Well, congratulations, and thank you so much for all that you do to support children. So now I'd like to invite you to enjoy the rest of the Black History Month event, and back to you, Brittany.
Thank you, Lisa, for sharing the latest clean energy updates at Southern California Edison. And congratulations to Millionaire Mind Kids for this year's Clean Energy Champion honoree. I can't believe your energy costs went from $4,000 to about $1,800 just by upgrading your lighting system to more energy efficient lighting. I can't imagine how many more businesses or even homes that could see some drastic changes like that in their energy costs just by changing to more energy efficient lighting. And yes, with those changes, you can redirect those funds back into your programs that benefit the community. Now that's really impacting the community for a positive change. All right, we've been sitting for about an hour and I bet you need a break. Let's freshen up our morning and beverages, our snacks, our coffee, our tea, get your blood flowing, stretch, anything else you need to take a break. And in the meantime, we have an encore performance from the young and talented Ashley Kiko. You saw her earlier this morning during the pre-event show, and she is back to entertain us for an entire encore performance. So turn up those speakers and get that body moving. Take it away, Ashley. Ashley, girl, you have some amazing skills with that saxophone. Were any of you guys getting up and dancing like me? Because I was getting it. That was so awesome. Isn't it amazing how just getting up and moving our bodies for a short period of time can wake up and refresh you? And that great music, it was a great combination. Now, back to the show. Up next, we have the speaker, author, trainer, and consultant, Mr. Glenn Bowie from the Glenn Bowie Speaks. After 3 decades in the wireless industry as a top sales consultant, Glenn is now paying it forward to help others reach their goals and dreams. His greatest accomplishments in sales were becoming one of the first to achieve 8 straight years in a row as the top performer in the most coveted Presidential Council, including earning over 200 awards for outstanding leadership and consistency in sales for Sprint, Nextel, and T-Mobile. He serves on the board of directors for the Tournament of Roses Foundation and Pasadena City College Foundation, and also serves as a Los Angeles Area Chamber Ambassador, where he's been volunteering for the past 10 years. Glenn is the founder and CEO of his own motivational and inspirational speaking company, Glenn Bowie Speaks Incorporated, where he continues to share his story and make a difference in many people's lives. He is the author of the book, The Art of Speaking into Existence, which chronicles his personal and business life of how he embraced the art of his tagline, Speaking into Existence. Let's welcome Glenn Bowie.
Thank you, Brittany, for the introduction. And thank you, Southern California Edison, for having me here for Black History Month. My name is Glenn Bowie, founder and CEO of Glenn Bowie Speaks. I'd like to thank Southern California Edison for having me here today for Black History Month. This is truly an honor and a pleasure to be here with each and every one of you. Glenn Bowie Speaks is a motivational and inspirational company that helps businesses and organizations reach their goals and initiatives. I'd like to share with you today 5 key steps that have helped me overcome and persevere. As I reflect back on Black History Month, I think of my grandfather, T.B. Bush, born and raised in the South in Texas. Graduated from Tuskegee Institute in Tuskegee, Alabama, after going through a lot of different hurdles and obstacles along the way. And he eventually became the bodyguard for Booker T. Washington's 3rd wife. As he migrated to Peoria, Illinois to start his family, my grandmother was a big inspiration in my life. She was the spiritual backbone of the family. She would always tell us that you can reach any dreams and goals if you just put God first in your life. I used to share my dreams so much with her, she would tell me, Glenn, you make the plans, but let God make the decision for you. That was my grandmother. We were very close throughout all those many years together. But there was one person that made the biggest impact in my life. That was my mother, Alice Bowie. My mother raised 4 kids all by herself in the projects of Peoria, Illinois. She even worked 3 jobs to put food on the table, but she had a vision and goal for her kids. That was to position us to middle-class America. But she always reminded us to never forget where you come from. That was the kind of mother that I had. So that was my first start of my vision board. I would tear out articles out of newspapers, put them up on the wall, anything that inspired me. Doctors, lawyers, athletes, entertainers, and even one day, coming to sunny Southern California. So as my mom's dreams got bigger, so did mine. I used to sit down and talk to her, and I told her, I said, Mom, one day, I'm gonna bring you to sunny Southern California with me. She looked at me and she smiled and she said, oh son, you'll be so busy with your own family, you're gonna forget all about me. And I promised her, I said, Mom, that will never happen. You'll never have to worry about that. I will always take care of you. Well, I'm here today to let you know that after 23 years, I made that commitment and promise to my mother, and I was able to fulfill it. And I'm so honored and so blessed. And as I look back at the vision that I had and the dreams, and I knew the next step of my life was to be in action to make something happen. I decided it was time to head to sunny Southern California to help make my dreams come true. And as I knocked on over 200 doors in 1 month, trying to find a job in sales, but no one would hire me. I kept hearing the same story over and over again. Well, I'll hire you once you get some experience. But I used to think, well, how am I going to get experience if you don't give me a chance? Well, I used that as fuel to light the flame deep down in my soul, knowing that I could make it and I would never give up on my dreams. I believed that I could make it. And as I knocked on doors and as doors were opening and starting to open, one door opened wide up. And when I met my mentor and my friend, Mr. Herb Hunter. I met Herb in the hotel industry, and he later hired me as a sales executive. Herb helped me to focus on my dreams and goals and helped me overcome my fears, as well as helped me to be specific for what I wanted in life. He later hired me a second time. He hired me to my first sales job, and I was honored to earn over 200 awards in sales for over 3 decades in service excellence. But I could not have done it without the help of others. So I would like to thank all the mentors that have helped me all those years. Thank you for everything that you've done. And the final step is to give back. Giving back brings joy into your heart. I would like to encourage each and every one of you to think about how you can make a difference in your community, how you can make a big impact. It can even be small, that can later become something big. The key is just get started. Believe in yourself. Know that you can do it. I know that you can. I started out my life and used my faith as an opportunity to help me make a difference in the world and in the community today. I think about not just all the people that came before me, but I think about all the people that I can impact each and every day. And I encourage you to think about who in your inner circles that can help make a difference in the lives of others. Life is about giving back. For me, it was about giving back and making a difference in the life of someone else. I'm so grateful that I was able to come out with my book, The Art of Speaking into Existence, forward written by Hollywood actor Blair Underwood. It's about dreaming big. It's about having a vision and goal for your life. It's about overcoming. Never give up, never give in. Just believe that you can make it. My book is making a difference in the lives of many people. And I'm forever grateful and thankful that I've had that opportunity to share my story with each and every one of you. So in closing, I would just like to say thank you, Southern California Edison, for having me. And to all you viewers out there, never give up on your dreams, because if I can make it, you can make it too. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenn, for sharing your awesome story with us today. I love your goal of giving back to your mom for all of the years of working hard and just wanting her to have a better life. That was your inspiration to succeed. Many of us can relate to that because our parents or parental figures and families are our first role models, and they are the ones that give us the foundation. And don't forget, you have an opportunity to win one of his books by participating in the drawing, so be sure to type the word prize in the chat by 11 a.m. You still have a little bit of time, so be sure to participate. Our next speaker is Pedro J. Pizarro, President and CEO of Edison International, and is a member of Edison International's Board of Directors. Pizarro has served on the Electric Power Research Institute's board of directors since 2016 and became chair of the board in April 2020. He was also elected as one of the 3 vice chairmen for Edison Electric Institute in June 2020. He serves on the board of Argonne National Laboratory and Caltech and has served on the boards of Electric Power Supply Association, California Power Exchange, Colburn School, House Research Institute, Southern California Leadership Council, and Western Energy Institute. Pizarro represents the electric industry on the Secretary of Energy Advisory Board and co-chairs the SEAB Innovation Working Group. Pizarro serves on the Electricity Subsector Coordinating Council and on California Governor Gavin Newsom's Task Force on Business and Jobs Recovery. Pedro earned a bachelor's degree in chemistry from Harvard University, a PhD in chemistry from California Institute of Technology, Caltech, and held National Science Foundation and Department of Defense graduate fellowships. Please join me in welcoming Pedro J. Pizarro.
Thank you, Brittany, for the introduction and for being our MC today. Good morning, everyone, and happy Black History Month. This is our 21st anniversary celebration, and we are so pleased to be joined here by so many of you, along with our special guests. A warm welcome to Ashley Kiko, Kenya Kelly, Randy Kahn, David Ford, Sherry Beasley, Mayor Rex Richardson, Glenn Bowie, Supervisor Janice Hahn, and Stacy Gordon. Thank you all for making this a wonderful celebration. Before we get into the program, I'd like to take a moment to recognize the connection between Edison International's and Southern California Edison's roots and the contributions of Black and African American communities. Our namesake, Thomas Edison, well, he owes some of his success to a man named Lewis Latimer, one of our nation's most important Black inventors. Latimer developed the evaporative air conditioner, an improved toilet system for railroad cars, and he also provided the drawings required for Alexander Graham Bell to receive a patent for the telephone. His best-known discovery, however, was a longer-lasting filament for the electric light. Without it, Edison's invention may not have become one of modern history's most important innovations. From the earliest days of the electricity industry, diversity of backgrounds, experiences, and perspectives was important to bringing new ideas to the table. Edison International and Southern California Edison proudly carry on that tradition. One of our recent successful efforts to support diversity, equity, and inclusion is the 4-year, $1 million Edison International Line Worker Scholarship. The program provides scholarships and additional support up to $25,000 per recipient. Graduates become eligible to begin a career as a groundman with SCE. The initial focus of the program was to increase Black representation among SCE's craft line workers. And in the first 2 years of the program, 100% of the recipients were Black, and their average age is 30. 5 of the participants were hired by SCE as full-time employees already. For the 2023 cycle, the scholarship recruitment is expanding to include Black, Asian American, and Pacific Islander, or AAPI, and Native American candidates. Let's take a look at our latest line worker scholars.
At Edison, we believe that our workforce should reflect the diversity of the communities that we serve, and we saw an opportunity to increase our representation in the line worker skilled trade. So we are piloting this effort with $1 million to fund an annual $250,000 4-year effort, along with $50,000 from our partners from IBEW Local 47.
So you guys are getting something that is opening the doors back to an ancestry, to a people that were before us, that paid all the prices, that endured all the pain, but now it's time for you, because you're going to get the opportunity to accept.
Each of you brings a different set of lived experiences. You know, we have hard problems to solve. We're better solving them when we have people who see life from a bunch of different angles. And I'm excited about what the future holds for each and every one of you.
We're really so proud of what you've all accomplished and we look forward to working with you and continue to celebrate the milestones that got you here.
And we're excited that you have all joined us in this important mission to serve our customers.
You have a group of committed executives at this company that have put this together to put you in a position to where you can take advantage of an opportunity.
The 2023 application period opens March 6, and recipients will be selected at the end of May. If you are interested or you know of someone who could benefit, be sure to direct them to the Community tab of Edison.com. The success of our Line Worker Scholarship could simply not be possible without our scholarship partners. So big thank you to IBEW Local 47, the Brotherhood Crusade, the Los Angeles Trade Technical College, and Scholarship America for all of their support. For more than 135 years, Edison International has partnered with local nonprofits to support our customers and our communities. We provide at least 80% of our philanthropic giving to underserved and under-resourced communities. We also invest in young adults who want to pursue studies in STEM or science, technology, engineering, or math in college through our Edison Scholars Program. For the past 17 years, Edison International has awarded more than $13.5 million in scholarships to 730 students. Starting this year, we increased our investment from $40,000 per scholarship to $50,000. And we understand the cost of education is a huge burden to families, and we hope that our support will help ease that tuition. We want to recognize and support students who want to be the makers of tomorrow and have a passion for changing the world. So students of the program will now also be eligible for an internship with SCE. Now, let's take a look at our latest Edison Scholars.
Each year, Edison International awards $40,000 college scholarships to 30 of the most dynamic and innovative high school seniors in Southern California Edison's service area to pursue their dreams in STEM. We are proud to present our Edison Scholars.
Hello, my name is Hallie Allen.
Hi, my name is Eliana Emanuel.
Hi, my name is Neil Azimi.
Hi, my name is Bradley Bennett.
Hi, my name is Xavier Gargan.
Hi, I'm Kiara Hersoja.
Hello, my name is Valerie Henriquez.
Hi, my name is Rosalind Dawson.
Hello, my name is Spirit Chapani.
Hello, my name is Joseph Lee.
My name is Dennis Lee.
Hi, my name is Eric Lee.
My name is Eric Lee.
My name is Jennifer Lee.
Hello, my name is Fernando Matias.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Morales.
Hi, my name is Daisy Nile.
Hello, my name is Shiva Zekoye.
My name is Monica Powell.
Hi, my name is Kayla Pham.
Hello, my name is Jesus Plata.
Hi, my name is Kevin Robles.
Hello, my name is Fallon Rowerding.
My name is Jimmy Sauro Contreras.
My name is Abigail Sampson.
Hello, my name is Luis Sanchez.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Sinclair.
Hello everyone, my name is Emily Soto.
Hi, my name is Mitchell Velasco.
Hello, my name is Jason Nguyen.
Your future is bright. Visit edisonscholars.com.
Isn't that a great video? Our world is constantly changing, and these students will be part of the next generation of change makers and future leaders for what's ahead. Now, each year during Black History Month, we present our Community Partnership Award to an organization that has provided notable, long-standing, innovative, and crucial services to the African American community. This year, we are so excited to recognize the Los Angeles Urban League as our 2023 Community Partnership honoree. The LA Urban League has been a long-standing partner with Edison in philanthropy, workforce development, policy engagement, and other efforts. Let's hear more about the Los Angeles Urban League from its president.
My name is Ambassador Michael Anderson Lawson. I am the president and CEO of the Los Angeles Urban League. The Los Angeles Urban League is an affiliate of the National Urban League, which was started in 1912 in New York. The Los Angeles Urban League began in 1921, so we are celebrating 102 years in Los Angeles. We are a community-based organization that is focused on economic empowerment, job training, entrepreneurship, and making sure that our communities have a say in the economics of this country. We're very grateful for Southern California Edison's support for the Los Angeles Urban League. The $10,000 that we have gotten from them is going to fantastic use. First of all, we are all about economic empowerment, so we're training people for jobs, we're training people for entrepreneurship, we're working with kids to learn what entrepreneurship is all about. What we are here to do is not just train people, but be an advocate for them with respect to our city and county elected officials. But because we are a network of over 99 affiliates in 35 states, we have the ability to affect the legislatures in a variety of states and in Washington, so that we have the tools and the equipment and all the things that we need in order to rebuild what was destroyed 100 years ago. We are standing on the shoulders of what our great-grandparents and grandparents and parents did to get us to this point. And it is an obligation that we hold dear to continue to move our communities into a stronger position. It reminds me of a statement that was once said to me at an event. A gentleman said, "If you see a frog on a fence post, you know it didn't get there by itself." I'm here because somebody I didn't know took the time to give me the opportunity to be here. My job is to pay that forward. Thank you.
Well, big congratulations to the Los Angeles Urban League. Now, here's a fun fact for you. Through our partnership, the Line Worker Scholarship Program helped influence the Urban League's Construction Career Academy. It's great to see such a positive impact in our community. Well, let me give my congratulations again to our Edison scholars and to our Community Partnership honoree. If you would like more information about any of our programs, be sure to check out our community page at edison.com. Now, back to you, Brittany, and thanks again for being a great MC.
Thank you, Pedro, for your leadership at Edison's International and in the community. I see your constant engagement in the clean energy space, not only here in the U.S., but also in international activities. You understand that a cleaner energy future isn't just a local problem, but a worldwide problem that we all need to work together to accomplish. And thank you for your commitment to investing in the community with the Line Worker Scholarship Program and expanding it to reach other minority groups. It's great to see corporations like Edison that are committed to investing in future diverse workers and its community. Our next speaker is an amazing leader in the community who not only sees an issue, but makes sure that wrongs can be made right. Here with us today is Supervisor Janice Hahn from the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors, 4th District. She has advanced a people-first agenda and continued her lifelong dedication to lifting up working families. Now in her second term in office, Supervisor Hahn continues to invest in public resources which benefit her constituents the most. She has invested billions of dollars into building affordable public housing, improving public parks, renovating local libraries, and more, all while securing the funding necessary to build a series of ambitious transportation projects aimed at easing congestion and revolutionizing the way residents get around. Over the past 4 years, she has worked tirelessly to end the homelessness crisis, provide legal representation to undocumented residents, and establish LA Found, a program which helps locate older adults living with Alzheimer's, autism, and dementia. Let's welcome Supervisor Janice Hahn.
Hi, I'm LA County Supervisor Janice Hahn. I worked for Southern California Edison for 5 years, from 1995 to 2000, and it's great to be here with you to celebrate Black History Month. I've been asked to talk to you a little bit about the story of Bruce's Beach. and the dark history of racism here in LA County. Over 100 years ago, there was a couple named Willa and Charles Bruce, and they purchased prime beachfront property in Manhattan Beach, and they began a resort of sort. It was where African Americans could come and enjoy a day at the beach. They could even rent swimsuits. It actually had a dance hall as part of it, a little cafe. And remember, this was the time in our history where African Americans were not allowed to swim at the beach. There were only 2 beaches within our area that African Americans were allowed to swim at the beach. One was Bruce's Beach in Manhattan Beach, and the other was called Inkwell Beach in Santa Monica. And people from African Americans from all over would take a whole day to drive to these 2 locations to enjoy, frankly, what everybody takes for granted, and that's spending a day at the beach. So residents of Manhattan Beach at the time didn't feel comfortable with this many African Americans descending on their little city to enjoy a day at the beach. Even the Ku Klux Klan was a part of harassing them and trying to run them out of town. They did things like slash the tires of the cars that came to visit. They actually burned a mattress under the property of Bruce's Beach. They would put no parking signs right around this area, so African Americans that had driven all the way up from San Diego to visit the beach would have to park a mile away and then walk to get to the ocean. So everything they did was trying to harass them enough and torture them so that the Bruces would say, hey, we're not welcome here, we're going to leave. But they never did, because Willa and Charles Bruce felt like they had a piece of the American dream. They had property, and they had a successful business in the days when African Americans didn't have a lot of successful businesses. So the city council at the time of Manhattan Beach decided that all this harassment, all this trying to run them out of town wasn't working. So they caved into the racism at that time. They caved into the fears of the local residents, and they decided to take the property through eminent domain. And they said that they needed that property for a public use, which was a park. So they actually took this property from Willa and Charles Bruce. They paid them a mere pittance of money to take this property. The Bruces fought it in court. They didn't want the money. They didn't want to give up their property, but of course they lost because the deck was stacked against them. Willa and Charles Bruce left Manhattan Beach, sadly, and I think they died shortly thereafter. And this story is so painful because it wasn't just an injustice against Willa and Charles Bruce. It was an injustice against generations of Bruces that certainly would have been millionaires by this time if they had been allowed to hang on to this prime beachfront property in Manhattan Beach. So fast forward 100 years, and all of a sudden, I represent Manhattan Beach as a county supervisor. And when I began hearing these stories crop up again, and there was a movement called Justice for Bruce's Beach that was beginning to hold protests in the city of Manhattan Beach. They were showing up at Manhattan Beach city councils and demanding justice. And I finally looked at the map of this property. I'm like, where are we talking about? Where was this resort? Where was these 2 parcels of land? And when I saw where this was, I went, oh my gosh, the County of Los Angeles now owns this property. Because what had happened was after Manhattan Beach took the property, they eventually gave it to the state of California. Then the state of California gave it back to the County of Los Angeles to help maintain the beach property around that. So it was kind of a circle of life that it actually came back to the ownership of Los Angeles County. And I got all my lawyers together in the county and I said, and they said, well, what would you like to do, Supervisor? And I said, I think we should give it back. If there are any remaining Bruces still alive, we should give this property back to the family. Well, at that point, nothing like this had ever been done before. we didn't even know if there were any Bruces left. But we started this process. We found the remaining heirs of Willa and Charles Bruce, who were still alive, the great-great-grandson, Anthony Bruce. And we began learning how painful this story had been to them all their life. They said every family get-together, they would talk about Bruce's Beach. And it was such a painful story that they just lived with and never dreamed that they would ever get the property back. So, it was a bit of a heavy lift. We needed state legislation to allow us to give the property back, because when California gave the property to LA County, we could not sell it, we could not transfer it, and we couldn't use it for any other purpose but a public purpose. So we needed legislation to allow us to do it. That happened. Steve Bradford, who also was my colleague at Southern California Edison, we worked together there at the same time. He led the fight in Sacramento to pass the legislation. And then Governor Newsom signed the bill that allowed us to transfer this property. It was a great moment when it was all said and done, and we stood there in Manhattan Beach on the property and literally handed the deed of that property back to the great-great-grandson of Willa and Charles Bruce. It was something that I will never forget working on, probably the most important thing that I've ever worked on. And being the first that ever happened in the country that a governmental agency returned stolen property to an African-American family makes it a model, hopefully, for the rest of the country. And I hope, even here in California and across the country, that people will begin looking for other ways to right these historic wrongs that were imposed on African Americans in our country. So I think we made a little bit of our own Black history in Manhattan Beach that day. So thanks for letting me be with you all. I always feel a real connection to Southern California Edison.
Thank you, Supervisor Hun, for your work in giving Bruce's Beach back to the rightful heirs. You have a full plate of issues to deal with, but your commitment to making things fair, right, and lifting up the community is admirable. And now I would like to introduce you to our keynote speaker, Stacey Gordon. Stacey A. Gordon is an executive advisor and diversity strategist from Rework Work, who works to reduce bias in recruiting and barriers to hiring. Stacey has delivered keynote speeches globally and developed educational content for both in-person and in a virtual environment. She focuses on reworking how companies work, including how they recruit, hire, and engage women and BIPOC, or Black, Indigenous, and other people of color professionals. She is the author of Unbiased, Addressing Unconscious Bias at Work, which reached #1 on several Amazon new release lists. She's been recognized by Pepperdine University as a top 40 over 40 leader, by the Los Angeles Business Journal for her work in diversity, and by Forbes as a top 3 business leader who spoke about diversity and inclusion. Stacey holds an MBA in Entrepreneurial Studies from Pepperdine University's Business School in Malibu, California, and earned a BS cum laude from St. John's University in Queens, New York. Please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, Stacey A. Gordon.
Thank you for the introduction, Brittany, and thank you to Southern California Edison for inviting me to your Black History Month celebration. I don't know about you, but when I hear the phrase impacting the community, I think about large impact. I think about big, sweeping changes. I expect to hear about the many lives that have been changed by that impact. Unfortunately, what that also does is make me question whether I can really provide that type of impact. And you might think that someone like me understands the impact that I have, but I constantly question whether what I do is enough. I'm fortunate to be on the road towards reaching 2 million learners just from my online courses on LinkedIn. My courses fall into 2 categories: DEI, or diversity, equity, and inclusion related, and career related. Why do I mention this? Because in order for us to determine whether or not we are impacting our community, we first have to define what we expect that impact to look like. If you need assistance with your resume or with making a career transition, then one of my courses on diversity, equity, and inclusion will not have the impact that you or I expect. And the reverse is also true. If you were seeking out guidance on the topic of diversity recruitment or unconscious bias, my resume course will provide zero impact and will only frustrate you. It is 2023, and in the wake of the recent mass shootings, as well as murders at the hands of police, some days it feels as though this could be 2020, 2017, or even 1965. The despair is what negates the years of progress and can make us feel as though we have regressed back to the civil rights era. However, if we focus on the impact various movements have had throughout the years, we know that while things can seem bleak, there is still progress. There is a difference between 1965 and 2023. Even though on our bleakest days, that difference can be difficult to discern. That difference, that progress, is defined by us as individuals. How we show up, if we show up, and what we do when we show up. You can't have impact if you don't show up. So while I may feel as though my online courses are unimportant and not nearly enough in the wake of the terrible things that are happening in our communities, it is far easier to determine whether we have the impact we desire when we define our community. The space that I work in is in a corporate community, and you have to ask yourself what your community looks like. You have several communities, and as a business owner, as an employee, as a family member, there are many communities around us that we are part of. So our job is to keep showing up and making the connection between the impact we can provide and the community we serve. Our impact can seem diminished when we are looking at it from the wrong viewpoint. If we are showing up and impacting our team, yet we are expecting to impact our entire organization, our expectations are out of alignment. We have to remember that there are different types of communities, different expectations for those communities, and how we show up in each of those communities will be different depending upon need. It can be easy to forget that. And when that happens, what we do can feel pointless. When that happens, we have to ask ourselves if our expectations are in alignment. Sometimes we are doing really great things in small doses, and the individuals that we impact are grateful for that attention. And other times we are unaware of that impact because we believe our contribution is insignificant. It is also not always about us. It is not always about what we have done to help others, but what others have done to help us, and whether or not we have acknowledged that help. One of the ways that we can impact others around us is by letting others know how they have impacted us. The feedback that I receive from learners who have participated in one of my courses, or from employees who have attended a workshop or listened to a keynote speech, helps me to keep going and reminds me of the impact that I make on my community. So if you find yourself struggling to identify your impact in this moment, maybe what you can do is let someone else know how they impacted you, and you just may find yourself on the receiving end of that feedback when you need it the most. I am lucky that I get feedback from my learners. I get messages that remind me of the work I do and that it is not in vain. That even if it can seem insignificant to me, that if it improves the way one manager interacts with their team member, or if it changes the perspective a hiring manager has when evaluating a candidate, then it does matter. Continuing along the lines of impact, I do think it's unacceptable that we continue to have cyclical and repeated conversations about diversity. One of the leaders who attended one of my professional development sessions a few months ago, specific to creating gender diversity within their organization, said to me, "We had this conversation back in the 80s, and so I understand the concept." And I didn't want to embarrass him in front of his peers. But in the moment I thought, well, if you really understand the concept, then we wouldn't be having this same conversation again 40 years later. If you've been having the same conversation since the 80s and you have done nothing to change things, then you can't possibly understand the concepts I'm trying to teach you. Why is it that current day leaders have been having cyclical conversations about women in the workplace or diversity in the talent pipeline with no real progress? Part of it has to do with how we learn. How many of you took an unconscious bias education course or workshop in the past 24 months? If you did, it probably didn't meet the criteria of any of the learning theories that we know are necessary in order for us to learn. Did you know that our brains have distinct circuits that support different types of learning? For example, one circuit helps learn information for a test, while a separate circuit supports your ability to take actions, like riding a bike. Intuitively, you understand this. Someone may have read every book about riding a bike, be able to explain the underlying physics with ease, and pass the test about the mechanics without actually being able to ride a bike. Problematically, most DEI workshops and courses are designed to activate your test-taking network, but real progress in the workplace requires the bike riding network to change. So of course, if you're not one of the LinkedIn learners who has taken my unconscious bias course or my diversity recruiting course, I'd love it if you did. But if we go back to the whole concept of impact, I want you to do more than watch my course. I want that information to spark something within you. It needs to spark a genuine curiosity. I want you to get excited about answering the question of why is it that current day leaders have been having cyclical conversations about women in the workplace or diversity in the talent pipeline with no real progress? Why are we metaphorically passing tests about bike riding without actually learning how to ride? It is not good enough to simply take in the information. You have to want to be part of the solution. There needs to be a genuine desire to be the change you want to see in the world. And that is impact. Of course, you can get help with this. We've deliberately designed an unconscious inclusion course to activate both networks, which will allow you and your company to comfortably talk about DEI issues and also see real impact in your workplaces. So, how are you going to be the change? And how are you going to impact your community? Thank you again to Southern California Edison for allowing me to be part of the Black History Month celebration. I hope you have all had a wonderful and enjoyable month.
Thank you, Stacy, for your work in making the workplace more diverse and making them more conscious of some of those biases. You mentioned that one of the leaders that attended your courses said he learned the same things back in the 1980s, but yet he never applied what he learned. I'm very interested in the outcome of that conversation and what he said. So what did you think about this, speakers? I hope you learned something new, got inspired, or have a plan of action to impact your communities. As you can see from our speakers, you don't have to make a grand gesture to make an impact. You can work together individually or just be a mentor to someone. We all have something important to share and to give, so never take that for granted. Thank you to the speakers and special guests, Kenya Kelly, Randy Kahn, David Ford, Mayor Rex Richardson, Glenn Bowie, Supervisor Janice Hahn, and to our keynote speaker, Stacy Gordon, for sharing your stories, impacting the community for a positive change. Thank you to the Edison executives, Pedro and Lisa, for 21 years of celebrating Black History Month. Thank you to the guest chef, Sherry Beasley, and her assistant, Alasia Sisson, and for showing us how to make those shrimp and crab bisques. And thank you to Ashley Kiko for providing the musical entertainment today. And lastly, thank you to the committee for putting together this virtual event and for having me as your MC. And last but not least, the door prizes. You don't want to forget about the door prizes. As mentioned earlier, we have 40 prizes. 20 winners will receive a copy of Stacy Gordon's book entitled Unbiased: Addressing Unconscious Bias at Work again by Stacy Gordon. And another 20 winners will receive Glenn Bowie's book, The Art of Speaking into Existence. Now, if you're one of those lucky winners, be sure to email your name and address by March 3rd to SCE Business Customer Events at SCE.com. That's SCE Business Customer Events at SCE.com. Good luck, everyone. Now, here are the winners right here on your screen. All right, the winners are Sharia Vajan, Elise Preston Mallory, Lavada English, Cynthia Nesmith, Andrew Sisolak, Peter Parmenter, Dr. April N. Shaw, Mayole Chenault, Tabitha Jones, Veronica Jones, Shelley Harrison, Daryl Wilson, James Newman Jr., Wanda K. Jones, Christine S., Jean-Francois Roy, Crystal Y. Mitchell, Brittany P., Wayne Dennison, Michael Reitzler, Kevin Callop, Samson Ongary, Bernard Rogers, and Barbara Stampers. Congratulations to all of our winners. Your prize will be shipped to you once we receive your name and your address. So don't forget to send us your name and address. I hope you all had a great time celebrating with us today. Ashley will close out the program with a final song. You guys have a fantastic Black History Month. Have a wonderful and safe weekend. Thank you for having me as your MC host today. I'm Brittany Jacob with ABC 30 News. Goodbye. And again, happy Black History Month. Congratulations to our winners. Your prize will be shipped to you, and once we receive your name and address, you will get that prize. I hope you all had a fantastic time celebrating with us today. Ashley will close out the program with one final song. And have a wonderful and safe weekend. And again, happy Black History Month.
Last. Now everybody go to breakfast. love.